Drop it. Good boy. You ready? Pitch it. Now then, here we are, me and Mutt, out on a beautiful sunny day in the heart of Yorkshire. And I say heart of Yorkshire, it's actually the centre of my universe because it's my piece of land. And this is where I come quite often to chill out, mess about with different projects that I've got going on and just enjoy being outside really. Anyway, what I'm going to do is take you and show you around all these different projects whilst I've got a bit of free time because my van's died. It's not quite died, but it's just disabled at the minute. So whilst it's in that state of unuse, I am going to just crack on and do some more jobs around here. Anyway, let's go have a look. And we're going to first answer the question of the yurt. Now that is the elephant in the room because I have nearly completed it, but not quite. And I'm going to show you exactly, I'm looking at it now, where it is and what I'm going to do with it. So here we are. This is the beautiful yurt. And as you can see, the last time you saw this on one of my videos was when it was in a pretty new state. And obviously since then, we've got this lovely sort of patina, we'll call it, which is slightly added to because of this massive sycamore which just drops a load of the sort of sticky sap onto here, and then we've got a bit of lichen just starting to grow. But I really like it. I was actually going to cover the whole lot up with some sort of well, a parachute really was going to sit on top and just come and drape over the sides, but I like that, so I'm going to keep it as it is, and all I'm going to do is hopefully just fill in these sides all the way around. Anyway, let's have a look at it properly. So we've still got this lovely stone entrance, and as we come in, we are now sponsored by Red Bull because that's where my channel's going. If only, I'd have loads of money then, wouldn't I? But inside we've still got just a lovely space, and all I'm going to do with it is just fill all the outside sort of space up, or just sort of stop the wind coming in really when you're sat in here. And I'm also going to make it so this central section here is going to have some sort of flue pipe or sort of chimney which drops down to this, which is going to be the fire pit. And then we can just have people sat all the way around the outside on that massive chunk of stone and a load of other different seats, chilling out in here and just enjoying a beer and a bit of a social natter, which is always a good thing. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully crack on with this and just get this sort of underway in the next sort of few weeks. Now, if you also have noticed, if you just look down there, we have got a nice bit of brown soil and some grass there. So what I've done is, if you can see this line, I'm trying to sort of follow it through the little tiny camera lens, but that is where I'll come outside and show you actually. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do this in one take. It's just going to be a complete oneer, so you may laugh at me stuttering over my stuttering over my words here and there. Anyway, this is a new area for me. So basically this was full of rubbish. I had a massive sort of horse box trailer there which was storage. There was some God, I'm choking on my own breath now. There was some pallets of stone and some stone lintels, and this was just absolutely knackered ground, loads of nettles growing and everything. So I have dug it all up, raked and raked and raked, made it really nice and flat, and I've just seeded it, if you can see there. So I've also added a little stone bench. It's just a nice little place to sit, and as you can see there's a bit of greenery that I've just sort of started putting in as well. And that's just a fire pit where I just sort of burn a load of rubbish usually, just to get rid of all bits of wood and what have you. So my plan with the outside of this is, if you can just sort of see that curved line there, it's quite hard to sort of make it out, but it's all flat and then it just drops off down towards the bottom of the yurt. So what I want to do along here is actually plant, hello Bluey Duck, he's come to say hello. I need to keep him off that as well, which is important because obviously he's just going to ruin it. Anyway, I'll take away Mutt. Go on. So yeah, at this point here, I am going to just plant a little set of box hedging all the way around, which is just going to come up maybe halfway over the coming years, and that's just going to make it look and just blend in a little bit better with that greenery. Obviously we've got quite a lot of greenery here anyway. These are some massive trees, sycamore, oak, that's a sycamore as well. I've got a holly just starting there, and obviously I've planted a load of stuff over the last few years or so. But the problem is with that is it needs watering. So my water Bowser is in use now, so I've got an electric pump for that, which then allows me to just spray water over this over the next couple of weeks, because it is actually going to be quite dry. So I need to make sure that it's going to start germinating and make a nice perfect lawn. And that space there, because it's in the middle of my sort of yurt, my shipping container, and also my amazing silo, that's my favourite space. I'll show you that in a minute. And this is why I've got this space, because in the past I've actually had quite a few parties here where I've had sort of 90 people at a time, and that's been awesome because I just love having to just open up my brain to other people and they get to see exactly, you know, my projects and what I'm on about, but also just to have fun and just get outside. That's what it's all about. And so many people end up sitting at home and not doing anything and not planning parties and not sharing what they've got. And I just feel it's just a nice way to open up the community. That's what it's all about. So anyway, right, so that's my yurt. As I say, I am gonna just sort of plant something around it, sort all these sort of sides out, and I've got tons of like stone. You can see I've attempted to move that one. That was an absolute beast, and it's just completely flattened that bit of a wheelbarrow. So I'm going to move that. I've got some sort of stone lintels down there. Those might get used as benches, and as I say, just think about seating in there as well. But anyway, that is my lovely yurt. Watch this space, because I'll get that finished and I'll obviously make a video on it. Some other little cool stuff. This is my bath sofa. As you can see, I did this about 10, maybe 12 years ago now, and all I did was just cut out the side of this old cast iron bath, and then I need to now make a really decent sort of cushion set for it, and then a couple of nice cushions in that, and that is getting put over there, right over there, but just I'll show you that in a minute. What else have I got? I've got these two things which cost me £10 that I found in a skip. That is from the scrappers, and I've got a brilliant plan for that. It's as you can see, it's a massive oh, not a pylon, what do you call it, like a road light or something like that. So it's just very, very thick steel. I just had this sort of laser cut off at that height, because what I'll do is chop that off, and oh, do you know what, I'm not even going to say what I'll do with that, because that's going to be an awesome project I'll do in the future. So let's move on. Hey Bluey dog, lay down then, lay down. Good boy. Right, my silo. So as you can see, this thing is just ultra cool. It is literally my most favourite project that I've ever done, and it's because I've turned something that is completely unusable, because it was old and battered and it was sort of rotten down at this sort of end, so I've cut the snout off, and obviously this used to be upright, and it had what you call cow cake in it, and cow cake would then feed down this funnel, and you just put a bucket under it and then you could go feed the cows. So quite a simple little thing really, but as I say, it was done. So I have revitalized it. No, what's the word? I've given it mouth to mouth and sorted it out. Anyway, here we are. So you duck under here, and I've made the most beautiful little wooden door set here. I just have to unclip this to open it. So as you can see, we've got some nice wood here, which I've done everything myself by hand. That's an old window pane that I had, and I've just sort of fit that. It's just because it was scrap basically, so I made that sort of fit there. And then I put this door in. But inside, ta-da, we have sort of a sauna looking room, I would say. But if I just bring you in and show you. So I'm 6 foot, and this is probably about 5'10" in here, so I can pretty much stand up right down at the centre of this, which is awesome because obviously it's just it's almost like a caravan or some sort of gypsy caravan maybe, just because it's round. So at this end I am planning on having just a little bit of a cupboard which I'm going to put sort of a worktop on, and a kettle. Underneath there'll be a bit of storage for, I don't know, a bit of food, maybe a tiny little fridge just to put some milk in. I've got it all sort of wired to that point as well, so I think I'll try set up my electric system from there, whether it's sort of going off grid or on grid. Either way, I'll sort that at a later date. As you can see, it's fully insulated. I've used sort of insulation through the whole lot of this just to keep the heat out really, because when it's sunny, obviously you can imagine this would get very hot. So currently it's pretty good with the insulation, and as I say, I've used this sort of a 20 layer sort of insulation which allows it to just curve with it, because obviously this is very difficult to insulate. At this end we have got a little tiny cupboard which just has nothing in it barring, what have we got, tissue, Vaseline and a knife. Yeah, I won't explain anything to do with that, you can make your own mind up with that one. We've also got a cast iron wheel which is off an old wheelbarrow, so I've just sort of used that at the end, and a teddy bear, and then here I've just got a couple of little drop boxes just to put a few little bits in. And either side, obviously these are the two benches that you sit on. What I've done is just put this lip all the way along here, so the table that sits there drops down and turns this into a king size bed. And my lad has slept in here lots and lots of times. It's his sort of little space really, and I'm just gonna get it sort of working properly. So I'm going to actually make some proper cushions for it rather than just slinging a full mattress in, and then that just allows it to be used as and when I need it, as almost like a spare bedroom really, because it is obviously a pretty damn cool space. I love it in here, and I love sitting here against this sort of curved back because my view is that, which doesn't normally have an IBC whatever tank in the way, but as you can see it's very green and very beautiful. So yes, one of my most favourite places to sit is in here, and I just I do come quite often, just come chill out and just enjoy the great outdoors, but in a cool kind of quirky way. So this will be another video at some point when I finish this off. So as I say, I've got to do all these sort of cushion covers and everything. I've got a little bit of storage there, as you can see. That's just to put quilts and cushions and everything like that. And I've got to finish that end off. Just a little bit of sort of timber work around all that. But if I shut the door, if it'll stay shut, look at that. That's just cool, isn't it? That is just cool. Anyway, let's move on to the next project. I'm going to sort of watch your head as you come out, because it's fairly low, is that? That's another thing as well. This is just temporary. It's just a piece of sort of tin that's just shaped to sort of suit, but I'm going to exchange that for a nice piece of soft rubber or something, so it's flexible, so you're not going to nut it and split your head open. What else have I got? So this is a big stainless steel platform which I bought from the scrappers a few years ago now, and I had a plan to sort of have it as like a platform to sit on with a couple of sort of comfy cushions and everything up there, just taking in the view. And I was going to have it where my roof tent could be used off the back of it, which just gave another sort of space to sleep. So that's definitely an awesome bit. I didn't pay much for it, obviously it's just scrap, so I paid sort of scrap value plus a little bit. This, any ideas what that is? I bet there's a few of you that actually know. Anyway, comment if you do know. I won't mention anymore because that is the coolest thing I've ever owned. It really is cool. Anyway, let's carry on this way. So that's my little trailer carrying my 1,000 litre tank, which allows me to have water to maintain all this. And then we have got the beautiful moon gate. Look at that. So I built this about 10 years ago and it's just such a lovely space. As you can see, it just winds its way in all the way, following these little stepping stones to a fire pit and a curved bench which I built. And this just is another really nice space to sit. I can just sort of sit here, chill out, buddleia behind me, with all those lovely butterflies just fluttering about. And I've got a few quirky little things as well. You can just see some old sort of cast iron wheels and what have you. And it's just nice. It's just a really nice space to be. And on the times where I'm here at night, where I just sort of come and chill with friends or whatever, I will light a fire. And as you can see, just drop your feet down near the fire. Keeping warm whilst out in the outdoors, living the dream. This really is me living the dream as well. It's just such an amazing place. As I say, it's the centre of my universe. It's somewhere that I just thoroughly enjoy coming and spending time, whether that's with me on my own, with the dog, or family, friends, whatever. But anyway, carrying on, let's get into this beautiful shipping container, which just looks like a normal shipping container from the outside. But if we head inside, let's have a look at this. Oh, there we go. So we have got some empty bottles of beer there, which I had with a mate the other night, and that was an absolute pleasure. Sat there chilling and chatting, taking in that view with a good mate. So the rest of it I have fully lined out and insulated, and it took quite a long time to do this because it's quite a big space to do, and each one of these boards it's sort of rough cut timber, but I had to sort of sand it all down to make it usable for in this space. But I say usable just so it's not sort of going to catch you know, fabric on it and things like that, and it's smooth enough to touch and not sort of get splinters in. So that took a hell of a lot to obviously do the whole thing. There's a lot of timber in here, and that's just one of those things that is time consuming but worth the effort, because it's just got so much character straight away. The texture in it, it's just beautiful. And especially at night when I've got some fairy lights in down at that end and my nice lights on, which, let's just flick them on. Ta-da! So that just obviously highlights that end up really nicely, and it's got a really nice warm glow to those lights. So what else do I need to do in here? Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk through what's already here. So at this end we have got this beautiful copper table, which the sun is very bright, but you can sort of see that it is kind of a piece of artwork. I've just pinned it all down, just little sections of copper off an old sort of, well, a couple of copper tanks, and just hammered it. You can see all the different sort of shapes. I've polished some bits out, and all this just adds that beautiful texture too. And I actually like the shadow of those bottles laying on that there. It's very nice. Anyway, that also doubles as a double bed, so you can drop the, well, the table comes out actually, I can't show you, but this actually lifts up it and out of the way, and that actually sits up there, so that's just the table gone. And then underneath there I've actually got the bits of wood that fit in that, and then these cushions at the back drop into the middle and make that a double bed. Obviously just add a decent sort of what's the word, mattress topper. Get a mattress topper on there, and then that just turns it into a really nice double bed. And my daughter slept there quite a lot of times because I generally sleep in the king size bed at this side. So this is just one big bed platform, which is pretty simple, I'd say. You can just sort of see that I've shaped the timber there to sort of suit where the mattress sits, and underneath we've got just some storage boxes. And what else? We've got a guitar. We've got these little quirky things in the corner, which are actually pig drinking troughs. So they did have like an automatic feeder that sat in the top, so I've taken that out, and that just now allows me to have a little bit of space to put a phone and charge it at night when I'm sleeping in here. And the colour of those obviously made me sort of paint this colour. That's an old oak dresser which was pretty battered when I got it, and all I've done is sand it all down, paint it, and just make it look beautiful like it is. So obviously in here I have all the things I need for surviving, including a tiny little fridge which just squeezed into that space. Yes, so let's show you then what I am now going to do to complete this, because it's going to be another video, is this one. So here we've got HDMI cables, and if you see in the corners there's 4 surround sound speakers. I've also got a subwoofer set up as well, but none of it's working. So here I'm going to have a box, and I've actually got an old army ammunition box which I'm going to hopefully repurpose and turn that into the housing for the rear projector, and that is going to then shine onto this end. So if you can also see, I've got a little 12 volt lighting wire there, and there's one here and one there. So that means I'm going to have 3 big panels up on the ceiling, which are going to be sort of pieces of artwork in some way. So that panel, I'm going to, as I said, do some sort of piece of artwork, or a mirror possibly, ask no questions. And the middle one, again, just a nice piece of sort of wooden artwork, just to sort of blend in with what I've got here. And then the one that's going to sit at this end is going to have a frame within a frame. So then, it's going to sit up like that, and then it's going to drop down, and then that will have a full screen ready to shine the projector onto. So then I can sit back on the bed. Let's jump back here and show you. So I can sit back here with a full movie on a horrible wet manky day, and just sit inside and just have a couple of hours chilling out watching that. So that's the plan with that. What else have we got to show you? Well, they are cool those, aren't they? This is already fully wired up to yeah, electric wires. I've got all the electric I need in here, and I just could do with some sort of running water would be a good shout. Although all I generally do is just fill up a couple of bottles, and that just allows me to make a cup of tea. Tea is life and all that. And that's about it. I've got a few little nice bits like this. I actually bought this in France when I was looking around some sort of like a, not a flea market, but just some sort of street stall thing, just selling loads of second-hand stuff, and I just really liked it. I thought it was kind of cute. A couple of little hearts on it, 4 hooks, and that just houses a couple of jackets and what have you to keep me warm when I'm going outside. So I think that's about it in here. I will definitely do a video showing all the bits I need to do to finish this off, because once this is complete it really will be just an absolutely amazing space to be, and that's what it's all about. I just love using my brain to design all these sorts of spaces and then actually use them. So I sleep in here quite a lot, because who wouldn't want to sleep here? I've got a couple other things to finish, like you can see that sliding drawer there, it just needs the face putting on it. Shoe storage, bin, alcohol on tap. I don't drink that much, I only have the occasional beer really, to be fair. So that is my shipping container. Back through the moon gate. Blue's just laid down there chilling in the shade. And that's pretty much it. I ain't got much else to show you. There is a load of other stuff here which I could go through, like I own a yacht. I'm well rich. So that is my yacht, which is sat there under that sort of canopy, which at some point I'm also going to turn into some sort of cool sleeping pod. But that's going to have to be just left on the back burner because I've got these other bits to finish off first. Yurt, my silo and my shipping container. And in the meantime, just bits like this, just sort of tidying up around the sort of usable space, just to make sure that when I do have a party, it's going to be awesome. So yes, anyway, there we go. That is my piece of land. I thought I'd just do this whilst I've got a bit of time and show you exactly my projects, because it's one thing going out on adventures and enjoying wild camping and just sort of showing you guys the like beautiful scenery and, you know, what me and the dog are up to, but I sort of feel that anybody can do that, whereas to show something that's a bit more interesting like this, which only few people can generally do, or have that sort of, I don't know, stupid mindset to just utilize a load of crap and then turn it into something pretty special, I'd say. So I just thought I'd maybe just try add a few more videos in where I am doing this sort of stuff. So anyway, that's it. Blue's just waiting down there with the ball. Because that's all he ever wants to do. This is another project as well at some point. I'm going to have to knock this down and rebuild it. It's just an old sort of Quonset hut or Nissan hut. And it does look absolutely old and battered, but it is definitely something that has a really nice sort of feel to it. The space inside is lovely just because it's rounded. And as you can see, I like round things. We've got a yurt. We've got this, we've got the round moon gate, and obviously round bench and everything round that fire. So it's just all part of everything being round. It's through the round window and all that. Yes, not much else to say, eh? But I will bring you back, so stay tuned for all my projects which are up and coming. And if I can show you any sort of, I don't know, use of this land when I'm having a party or something, then I will do as well. But for now, from me and the beautiful Blue. Yeah, Blue. I know you need to say goodbye to him. Blue. He's coming, he's coming. There he is. Good boy. So from me and the beautiful Blue, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.